It's being called the sting of the century. After 18 months of monitoring some of the biggest underworld networks, police swooped in multiple countries, arresting 800 suspected criminals. They also seized huge bundles of cash, cocaine and other drugs, as well as weapons, luxury cars, motorcycles and watches.
Essentially, we have been in the back pockets of organised crime and operationalised a criminal takedown like we have never seen.
This app was the Honey Trap. Called Anom, it was secretly developed by the FBI. A tech genius at the Australian Federal Police, known as The Operative, then developed a tool which allowed police to spy on the messages being sent on the app. It was seeded to the underworld by police informants. Tricked into thinking their conversations were encrypted and untraceable, the gangsters openly messaged and encouraged each other to use the app.
On Anom, criminals communicated in 45 languages about things like trafficking in drugs, arms and explosive, ram raid, ATM gas attacks, armed robberies, and last but not least, contract killings.
Not only did the operation thwart an estimated 100 murder plots, it also gathered vital evidence and understanding of how the criminal networks operate.
And to give you an idea of the magnitude of our penetration, we were able to actually see photographs of hundreds of tons of cocaine that were concealed in shipments of fruit. We were able to see hundreds of kilos of cocaine that were concealed in canned goods.
The operation has been hailed a triumph of tremendous innovation and international cooperation. Members of the mafia, outlaw motorcycle gangs and Asian crime syndicates are just some of those behind bars as a result. And the intelligence gathered is expected to net many more criminals and disband their networks over the coming months and years. Sarah Morice, TRT World.
Let's get more on this from Pierluigi Pagaini in Napoli. He's CEO of Cybhorus and a cybersecurity expert. Welcome to the show. Now, this script sounds like a movie. How did the FBI get these criminals to use its app and not find out that it had a backdoor?
You're right. It was a very complex operation. Law enforcement agencies infiltrated the crime ecosystem. The operation began in 2018 after the FBI cited the encrypted chat platform Phantom service. The operation forced at the time many criminals organizations to move to another encrypted communication system. The Anom app that was promoted at the time was rapidly shared in the main cybercrimes forums on the dark web, and it was rapidly adopted by many cybercriminal organizations for the protection of their communication. The international police also tricked prominent senior crime figures into using it, giving other crooks the confidence to use the alleged secure application for their communication. It was, let me say, a perfect Trojan horse within the cybercrime ecosystem.
Now, there've got to be other apps like this out there, right? I mean, explain to us, how does these apps or the dark web facilitate organized criminals, and is there much that authorities can do when they're not using the app that the FBI made?
Basically, I can tell you that over the time we have observed many other security apps that were shared in the cybercrime ecosystems. Many communication services were advertising in many hacking forums, for example. In the past, law enforcement agencies already infiltrated other communities behind the principal encrypted communication platform. I remember, for example, EncroChat and also Sky ECC, that were two communication platforms very common in the crime ecosystem. Anyway, it is essential for cybercrime organizations to use secure apps in order to protect their communication. And the dark web is a privileged environment where they can find this kind of tools, this kind of platform in order to communicate each other. I can tell you that probably the result of the operation that we are commenting today express all the potential of the law enforcement agency that are doing all the best in order to track cyber criminal organization and to fight the cybercrime and also the ordinary crime.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you very quickly. We've had another news coming out about the money that was paid as ransom for the Colonial Pipeline. Part of that was also recovered by the FBI. So are regulators finally catching up to criminals when it comes to using the internet or technology?
It's a cat and mouse game. Law enforcement agency could involve sophisticated technologies to track down criminal organization. Anyway, crime syndicates always explore new technologies to carry out malicious activity and fly under the radar. The most important aspect of recent law enforcement operation is the commitment of governments and the joint collaboration between different states.
Thank you so much, Pierluigi Pagaini, for your input on the show.